Heute ist Feiertag in den USA, nämlich das Erntedankfest steht an. Und übrigens, morgen auch ist die Börse nur halbtags geöffnet. Insofern ist es gerade recht ruhig am Markt. Ich möchte euch dennoch ein kleines Leckerli bieten, nämlich ein neues Interview mit Alex Karl, dem CEO von Palantir. Damit euch heute nicht zu langweilig ist, haut also gerne auf den Like-Button. Es macht für mich und diesen Kanal wirklich einen massiven Unterschied und kostet euch gar nichts außer einer Sekunde eurer Zeit. Abonniert auch gerne kostenlos diesen Kanal, um keine Videos über Palantir und andere Wachstumsaktien in der Zukunft zu verpassen. Aber ich fand dieses Interview sehr stark, weil hier zwei Dinge angesprochen werden. Zwei Kritikpunkte, sollte ich sagen, die ich immer wieder höre, wenn es um Palantir geht. Der erste Kritikpunkt hat mit Ethik und Moral zu tun. Da wird also gesagt, wie kannst du nur in Palantir investieren? Die machen doch ... Der zweite Punkt hat mit der Verwässerung von Aktionären zu tun, weil Palantir eben seine Mitarbeiter, sein Management sehr stark über Stock-Based Compensation bezahlt und incentiviert und so eben die Altaktionäre verwässert. In Bezug auf den ersten Punkt finde ich den Vergleich, den ihr gleich von Alex Karl hören werdet, sehr, sehr eindrucksvoll. Er sagt nämlich, wir sind bereits heute in einem Softwarekrieg. Darüber brauchen wir nicht mehr zu diskutieren. Wir sind in diesem Softwarekrieg zwischen auf der einen Seite dem Westen, in Anführungsstrichen, also den USA, Europa und anderen Nationen, und auf der anderen Seite vorrangig China. Und er sagt, dass wir in einer ähnlichen Situation sind wie im Zweiten Weltkrieg, auch wenn das dramatisch und schlimm klingt. Denn er sagt, wir sind hier nicht in einem linearen Krieg, wo es darum geht, oh, mein Schiff ist ein bisschen schneller als dein Schiff, mein Panzer schießt ein bisschen weiter als dein Panzer, sondern wir sind hier in einem All-or-Nothing-Krieg. Es geht um alles oder nichts. Die Nation, die Macht, der es als erstes gelingt, KI, künstliche Intelligenz, Software erfolgreich im Kriegseinsatz einzusetzen, wird eine solche Übermacht gewinnen, dass im Grunde alle anderen Mächte sich untergeben müssen und die Werte, die Ethik und die Moral dieser Supermacht übernehmen müssen, zwangsläufig. Das heißt, wenn wir Unternehmen wie Palantir beiseite schieben und sagen, darum kümmern wir uns nicht, dann ist die einzige Alternative, dass diese Software, dass diese KI in der Zukunft aus China kommen wird. Und ist das wirklich eine Zukunft, die erstrebenswert ist? Ich glaube, der größte Kritiker, und ich bin auch ein Kritiker von Drohnenkriegen, von Vorratsdatenspeicherung, von Überwachungsprogrammen und all diesen Dingen. Aber wenn die Alternative ist, dass all diese Dinge in Zukunft aus China kommen, dann muss meine Antwort sein, das möchte ich nicht, das kann ich nicht wollen und insofern hat Palantir hier meine Unterstützung verdient. Insofern legen wir los mit dem Interview.
It has been just over a year since Palantir made its public market debut through a direct listing. Palantir, which makes software and analytical tools for companies and the government, has reached profitability and seen its commercial business more than double in the past year, but shares are down more than 10% in 2021 after rising about 188%. Joining us right now in a rare exclusive interview is Palantir CEO Alex Karl. Alex, it is great to see you. It has been a year, and what a year it has been. Government revenue up 34% year over year, Q3. I'm looking at commercial customers up 135%. When we talked, when you did the listing, do you think that this was in the offing?
Well, I guess important would be to ask if anyone else thought it was in the offing. I think we've had a rare, successful history at Palantir. We began almost 2 decades ago with the idea of providing software platforms to the U.S. government as allies. We are very aligned with our customers and with our owners. We are building products that we have come to see are at least 5 years, in the case of our anti-terror products, Foundry, maybe a decade ahead, where we've built and will be delivering new products to the market. We have a lot to be grateful for, and I'm quite happy to be here right before Thanksgiving. We're grateful for our success. We're grateful for many of the things we've been involved in, including disseminating the COVID vaccine to every American, everyone in England. Probably the dissemination of the vaccine itself has saved hundreds of thousands of lives in America. We were involved in helping in Afghanistan of late. And of course, we're quite content with the fact that our results are being seen by the world, and we're planning to deliver more results.
Over the last 20 years, the enemy, if you will, for the U.S. and its allies, which you have helped with, has been terrorism, anti-terrorism in particular. Increasingly, the conversation has moved away from terrorism in the Middle East and more towards China. What do you think about that, and what role do you think you have to play in it?
Well, the public discussion has moved recently, but as you know from our many conversations, we've been very focused on what we've called the software war between America and its adversaries, where we believe, and as a company we've been saying for over a decade, this is not a conflict that's linear. So it's not like other conflicts where one country has a slightly better plane than another country has a slightly better boat than another. This is much more like what we saw in World War II, where one country develops a nuclear bomb and they set the rules. And we've been saying this in public, in policy circles for well over a decade. And because we've been saying it in public, we've been very focused on this in private for well over a decade. And a lot of the development on Palantir on the software end doesn't see the public eye for obvious reasons. But we've been very focused on what's generically called AI in the conflict or war setting for a long time, building on innovations we'd already built, the ways in which we work with data in bulk, and then data at the edge. And so as part of this conflict, our basic thesis was this is a winner-take-all conflict. The U.S. and its allies must have the best software in the world. We, of course, at Palantir are very proud to develop products that make the Western world stronger, and we hope that those products put us in a position where we decide what the ethics of the world will be. We, America and its allies, not just in America, right. And therefore influence the world in a positive way.
I wanted to ask you about the stock, which, of course, has done quite remarkably. But I want to read you something and get your feedback on it. This is an analyst who wrote the following. On one hand, Palantir exceeds its own growth estimates, expanding its contractually secured revenue rapidly. Further, the business model is highly scalable, resulting in significant margins. On the other, bears are not wrong to criticize Palantir's cash-burning problem and excessive stock-based compensation, which keeps diluting shareholders to oblivion.
You know, let me tell you a story of Palantir that it will answer your question. So not the typical obfuscation you're used to from corporate executives. When we went to Silicon Valley and said we are going to build software platforms for the U.S. government, they said, why would you build something for the U.S. government? It's hard to work with government, and data is worthless. By the way, they literally said, why would you focus on data protection? No one will believe the product will work. And by the way, something that is fully aligned with your clients is just not smart. You should turn your clients into a product and monetize them. We rejected that advice, and then we went to the U.S. government, and they told us, build your product in a way we want, i.e. a PowerPoint developed by someone who was not technical for something that was necessary in the 70s. We didn't do that. We built a number of products that are now on the market and are winning in the market. To do that, we've hired the best and most interesting and eclectic people in the world. They work at Palantir. They work at Palantir for lots of reasons, but they're very fairly comped. And we will continue to develop these products and continue to comp people. And we are very, very focused on being fully aligned with our clients and fully aligned with people who own our stock. What does that mean in the real world? It means that we will continue to be very focused on delivering value. We will continue to comp people, and I don't believe we're deluding people into oblivion. I thought it was pretty interesting, by the way, about the analysts, many of whom are highly substantive and attuned to our product, is de facto they're saying what the generals used to say to us: build the product we can understand, and then we'll reward you with capital. We're building the product our clients need and the world needs, and we believe over time, and we've already seen this, the world will reward us and will reward our shareholders. And that's basically our view.
Right. Alex Karl, it is great to see you. It's been a great success story. We look forward to following your progress, and we wish you a happy Thanksgiving.